So regional food systems are growing. That's the message for this entire weekend, for this entire forum. Supporting local producers, creating community food systems, forging new relationships, innovation in how we grow to overhauling our supply chain. Solutions that result in economically vibrant, ecologically sound, and socially just food systems. Increasing access to healthy food for all. Pretty important conversation to have. My name is Michael Moore, and I'm the president of the Edmonton Permaculture Guild, also principal owner of Genesis Permaculture, a regenerative design company. The greatest change we need to make is from consumption to production. I believe Debra said that earlier this afternoon, and even on a small scale in our own gardens, if only 10% of us do this, there's enough for everyone. This is a quote from Bill Mollison, the co-founder of permaculture. Susan was just saying that a number of people in the room probably don't know what permaculture is, but permaculture is a natural design system that patterns itself after nature itself. And we look to really design the work out of the system. I design perennial food forest systems in urban settings and rural settings. And by patterning the way Mother Nature herself works, if you look at a forest, it's the healthiest ecosystem in the world. And so we look to those patterns and those design systems in how we work with permaculture. I'll go on to a second quote from Laura Kalina of the Kamloops Food Policy Council, and she said the grassroots projects in and of themselves do not change the forces that create high unemployment and inadequate social assistance rates. However, people's lives are improved immediately through these projects by reducing food insecurity and enabling people to experience the power of working in coalition with others. It then becomes possible for them to envision themselves as activists for social change, working to create a just society in which hunger no longer exists. It is their critical perspective and understanding of the food system from below which can shape a compelling vision and effective action for change. For some reason, our society has chosen to create a landscape of lack rather than one of abundance. A landscape bereft of edible food for either human or animals. You ever heard people say, where did all the birds go? Well, birds don't really get off on Kentucky bluegrass and spruce trees. So there's a better way. In reality, the opposite is possible with the tiniest amount of exertion. The Edmonton Permaculture Guild looks to foster relationships with like-minded organizations to create a more resilient society. Our mandate is to teach and demonstrate permaculture principles, develop education programs and initiatives that promote food security in our city. This is being done all over the world by permaculture organizations. And this last fall, with the passing of Bill Mollison, the co-founder of permaculture, the outpouring of tributes to Bill Mollison were unbelievable. But what I saw come out of that even more so was the communication, the commitment, the partnering. It just elevated. It went to a whole different level. And people were starting to travel to countries that are suffering badly with food insecurity and lending their knowledge in permaculture and helping these communities to start developing their own food systems. We feel that every community center and schoolyard in every city should be filled with lush, vibrant, perennial food systems interspersed with culinary herbs, flowers to attract and feed the pollinators, and annual vegetables. We envision a geodesic greenhouse at every community center, designed with the use of geothermal energy to provide an off-grid year-round greenhouse where communities can grow vegetables, hold education programs on growing and preparing food, and even selling seedlings in the spring. The best part, reconnecting children to their food, where they can get their hands in the soil and delight in growing greens in the middle of winter. Let's establish perennial food forest systems in every park, filled with cherries, grapes, pears, apricots, apples, plums, and berries of all description. By opening up underutilized green spaces throughout our cities, landscapes, we can provide organizations with land to develop and grow food that can then be distributed to many organizations helping to feed the homeless and marginalized communities, orchards and demonstration sites to provide education programs and community participation, children's permaculture camps to foster youth and interest in growing their own food and developing food systems, reskilling workshops demonstrating age-old methods of harvesting the bounty and preserving food for the winter months, a lost art. Above all, our food security is about relationships, developing a relationship with the soil and reconnecting with the land and how our food is grown, to connecting with the people and the organizations who are working to build resilience in and around our cities. A garden starts with seeds. I believe this weekend's purpose is in planting many seeds. The purpose of my organization that I work with, the Edmonton Permaculture Guild, is definitely all about planting seeds and getting growing. The Edmonton Permaculture initiatives for 2017 and 2018 is just to name a few. We're hosting the Resilience Festival on Earth Day on April 22nd. This is the third year for the Resilience Festival, an amazing coming together of hundreds of people. See Kristine in the back, hooray! Workshops and reskilling opportunities and teaching people beekeeping, how to construct an insect hotel, dyeing your own yarn, fixing your own bicycle, repair cafes. This year we're going to have a bit of a dance party as well, so lots of celebration happening. So make sure you check that out and come down and join us for Resilience Festival on Earth Day. This year we're also have a new program that we're developing for Children's Permaculture Camp, which will take place in July. Very excited about that. Fostering education in permaculture with young children and getting them excited about how things grow. It also, a wonderful man, Michael Becker out of Oregon, who works in a middle school, worth looking him up, Googling his name, Michael Becker. He's got a wonderful permaculture program that he teaches in his school, and children who have been left behind in the traditional education system have all of a sudden re-engaged because they've got their hands on these systems and they can see it in their mind. It's practical, tactile learning, and this is what we look forward to seeing with our Permaculture Children's Camp. We're also developing permaculture demonstration sites. Not enough of them yet, but hopefully more and more to come. Macaulay School Orchard in partnership with Operation Fruit Rescue just scheduled an annual permaculture design certification program that'll start in 2018. Very, very exciting program for us. Lots of things happening with Edmonton Permaculture, and we look to foster relationships with other like-minded organizations. Look forward to working together and building food security in this city and permaculture building food security around the world. My question is, how many people would like to see abundant food systems spring up all over their city? Garden tours, polyculture sanctuaries, beehive havens, you name it, the sky's the limit, we can do it. Thank you.